What's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. Breaking news, breaking news. ESPN has laid off 100 employees. Now, 50 of these employees are on-air talent. You may know them, you may not, and the rest are people who, do they work in the trenches. You may not know of them personally, you may not know their face, but they were employed by ESPN. Now, ESPN released a statement. Bear with a brother, okay, because this is fresh news. In a message sent Wednesday to ESPN Employees Network President John Skipper announced the company was beginning the next round of layoffs, a long anticipated move that was expected to thin out the ranks of ESPN on-air and online talent. All right. So the job cuts and ESPN decision to reposition itself for the future, not to mandate any particular company or any particular decision that Disney, since Disney do own ABC and ESPN, this is not necessarily about Disney. Now, this is their words, okay? Will affect around out of 100 people. Now, 1,000 so-called front-face employees of ESPN, the people who have been contacted, was sent, and they also sent them a letter telling them that they no longer work for ESPN. Okay, now Bob Leavy is the first person that got laid off of ESPN. He, if you don't know Bob Leavy, he does outside the line reports that comes on like mid in the afternoon. It comes around the time where people are normally working. So if you are a fan of it, probably DVR that program. He's sent out a press release as well as a tweet that he no longer works for ESPN. Ed Wilder, guys, I butcher names on a regular basis. He does NFL analysis work for ESPN. After 17 years of reporting the NFL, I've been informed that I've been laid off by ESPN, affected immediately. I have no plans to retire. Now, basically in that tweet, I'm thinking that he's going to land his feet somewhere else. He's really a good talent. I'm pretty sure CBS may utilize his service. Fox would definitely utilize his service. He really keeps his ear to the wall when you're talking about NFL news. All right. Brent McMurray. Now, Brent McMurray does college work for the college football, and he released a tweet saying, after 5 great years, I've been laid off of ESPN. It was a great opportunity. I enjoyed working with a lot of really, really good people. Now, I wasn't surprised by that move, because when you look at college football as a whole, it's not necessarily a sport that's a year-round sport, okay? Now, Jason Starks, okay, he is also retired from ESPN, and he also released a tweet. For 17 years, I had a dream job covering baseball for ESPN. Today is my last day. Thanks to all the great people in ESPN and MLB, to all of you. Now, Jason Stark is a rare breed and a rare talent. I'm pretty sure the Major League Baseball Network is going to pick this brother up. He is not going to be laid off for long, all right? There's another person by the name of Richard Dench. I think he also does baseball work for ESPN. They informed him he no longer works for ESPN. I really don't know too much about him. I really don't watch too much of Major League Baseball. And you have to admit, ever since they launched the Major League Baseball Network, that was competition for ESPN baseball work, because pretty much ESPN had that corner sold up. Nobody else wasn't doing baseball like ESPN on the post-game report and the after-game reports and things of that nature. So he is no longer employed by ESPN. Now, another individual is Trent Dilfer. Okay, Trent Dilfer said, laid off by ESPN today, although sad because I love my job. Mostly, I feel gratitude and I appreciate the 9 years. All right, Trent Dilfer has been let go by ESPN. Now, this brother, it has talent and he has name recognition. I'm pretty sure another NFL, like the NFL, they may pick up the NFL Network. They may pick him up. CBS, they may pick him up. So this brother is not going to be laid off much longer. Now, Jay Crawford, okay, he got the pink paper. After 14 years of my time at ESPN, it is over. From the cold pizza to First Take to SportsCenter, I made friends that I can name forever grateful. Now, this particular brother, I have no issue, I have no beef with Jay Crawford, but this is one of those type of contracts where he was grandfathered in. Yes, he will still get a job in the press world. I don't know if it's going to be in sports, okay? But in theory, he should have been fired 4 years ago, all right? So he should very well appreciate the folks over there at Disney and ESPN for still allowing him to collect a check and work for the worldwide leader of sports. Nobody's not saying a bad thing about ESPN. These are things that happen, layoffs have happened everywhere at every company, all right? Do not get it twisted, all right? Now, Jacqueline Taylor. Now I know this guy. I know this brother. He covered the Dallas Cowboys. He's also been let go. It's ironic ESPN laid me off the same day as my first partner of the Cowboys. All right. I have been with ESPN, and they're always going to be in my heart. It was a fun place to work at. Now, I was kind of shocked by that name because they let go of Ed, and I kind of figured, well, they're probably going to, make room for Jacqueline Taylor. He does pretty good coverage for the NFL. He started off as a beat writer for the Dallas Cowboys. I was pretty shocked with that, but at the end of the day, this man is going to land probably at the NFL Network. I think that's going to be his next landing spot. Okay. Calvin Wilkins, okay? After 7 great years at ESPN, they let me go. Much respect for all the people, all right? Now, I really don't know too much about him, but that's he does work for he does his reporting around the NBA, and he was a Houston Rocket beat writer. A lot of these beat writers started working for ESPN because ESPN will get the insider knowledge first from these individuals, and that's why ESPN pretty much get the news first before anyone else, because they had so many beat writers under their repertoire. Okay, now Jim Bowens, I felt blessed and privileged working for ESPN, and most importantly, I worked with a lot of great people. Thank you. I look forward for what comes next. He was a former Nationals general manager, and he was let go. I'm pretty sure if he still wants to pursue an opportunity in this craft and in this field again, I'm pretty sure the NFL Network would. The NFL Network will be coming a calling. Now, this one was a huge surprise to me. All right. Danny Kanell was let go. All right. Danny Kanell's show is on right now, and I'm pretty sure, I hope ESPN gave him the news earlier this morning, because it'd be kind of sad and kind of pathetic and kind of unclassy to let this man go in the middle of his job. It's worse to get fired while you're working. It's another thing entirely to get fired on your day off. Okay. That's a Friday reference. A lot of people out there are not going to understand what I said, but pounding my heart and soul into ESPN for the last 8 years, moved my wife and 3 kids to Bristol, Connecticut, and after 5 years, I feel kind of bummed. Okay, he really didn't take the news lightly. You know, when you're letting go of people, when you're firing people, you know, a lot of these people are still in their prime. They're still young. Okay, so most likely they're gonna feel a certain kind of way. Okay, they may feel disrespected, and they may feel they may be upset at the time, but you know, life goes on. Now, to these veterans like Bob Leavy, who's been at ESPN like forever, this ain't no big deal to them. This ain't no big deal to them. It's not a thing to them. It's not like they're desperately looking for a job. They got paid very well, and I'm pretty sure they're they're still in their contract, so they're gonna buy them out. So they're gonna be cool. They're not gonna probably work again. They might go on guest radio shows, make a couple of appearances, but at the end of the day, they don't have to really work a 9 to 5. All right. Longtime SportsCenter John Buchtergross. Okay, I know of him, whose contract was set to expire. Report is in his future reported in limbo. ESPN released a statement. Sources are now saying John Buchtergross is not gone, but he will stay throughout his contract through the summer for a renew or a reduce. I know of this brother. I don't, you know, he's very talented, but I don't think he's ESPN talented. ESPN is just going to let him ride out throughout his contract. They're not going to renew it, and he's going to probably find work elsewhere, but he's going to continue working at ESPN. You know, a lot of these guys are cool. I mean, they love working where they're at, okay? Now, hold up for a second. Hold up. Breaking news. The Hollywood Reporter is now saying Russo's longtime baseball host tonight, MLB play-by-play announcer Carl Ravert, and the network veteran Hannah Storm will see their roles significantly reduced, according to previous reports. A number of ESPN personalities had approached the network about taking voluntarily pay cuts or reworking their contract in order to keep their job. Okay. I really feel bad for these individuals that got laid off. Now, I know a lot of people out there are wondering, me included, what about Sage Steele? You know, Sage Steele was under a lot of controversy this year, okay? How that played a part, or maybe she might be let go. I don't think ESPN is going to necessarily let her go. She is a great talent. She's very knowledgeable. And they could use this opportunity to let her go because they just signed her to a multi-year contract last year. Okay, so even though she lost her job covering the NBA on ESPN, now if she would have made a big stink about it, she would have made a big funk about it. Okay, I can see ESPN taking the next step and possibly trying to let her go like the rest of them. But ESPN see potential in Sage Steele. I don't necessarily think Sage Steele is going anywhere. She's gonna be there, and they're gonna probably either have her host SportsCenter, one of the SportsCenter programs, like either in the morning because Jay Crawford is gone. Sage Steele will be a good replacement. I don't think so in the afternoon. The afternoon numbers are really not that high enough to have a caliber like Sage Steele representing them. Maybe in the morning, I forgot his and hers. I forgot their names, but they're doing the 6 p.m. SportsCenter. So the only place I can see Sage Steele going is maybe in the morning ESPN SportsCenter, where she was started, where she was founded, or maybe outside the lines. Maybe I don't know. Okay, but yes, ESPN just released a statement saying that they let go of 100 employees in their next round of reducing the payroll. Okay. But guys, tell me what you think out there. Tell me what you think about these recent announcements of people who've been let go. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Down One, and I am